Gaming. Alright.
Hello, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube. I'm sorry.
Welcome.
So sorry.
Welcome to Awesome Hardware.
YouTube dicked us over again.
We're running a little late today.
Just a little bit.
There's been a
What
bit
else
of
is new?
confusion. Is there any way you can, or did you update the description? Or the show doc with the link? Or I can get it from the tweet you just posted.
In a sec. Crap.
So just to bring you guys up to speed,
Good.
we were attempting to go live today, as we usually do, and it just didn't work. And there's some weird thing with Google Hangouts, and it was trying to go live in a Google Hangouts mode.
It was trying to rape my account.
It just wasn't working, and basically, yeah, it's all for shit.
Yep.
So anyway,
It should be okay now. Hopefully things are fixed. We're only half an hour late, and we can continue on with the show, which I may have to cut a little bit short now because I went so over
it's all
trying
right.
to get
It's
live.
all right. We got no rush. There's no rush. There's nowhere to be.
You're right.
There's no imminent upcoming launches or anything that we have a lot of work to do on.
Although eventually, yeah, it's right, of course. But at a certain point, we will both crave sushi.
Yeah.
And at that point, we will not give a shit about anything other than stuffing our face full of delicious raw fish.
That would be good.
So let's just I guess try to get into the groove here. This is episode 97. This is side A that you're watching. There's going to be a side B at the end of this half, which is going to be on Paul's channel. So you can head over to youtube.com/paulshardware to catch that, or you can just stay tuned on Twitch if you're watching it from that platform. But this is a fun tech show that Paul and I do every single Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific.
It's really fun.
Generally 5:30 p.m. Sometimes
It's a little late
we don't
today.
quite abide to that specification. But
It says no YouTube.
yeah, no. What?
Yeah, it says we're streaming to YouTube.
Oh, it says. No, I thought you said it says no.
I can
YouTube.
see us. I can see us on YouTube.
Okay.
That's Twitch chat. Just
Thank God for that.
just trying to.
So
It's a hard time. We're not live. We're not live to the original link on YouTube. That's for
no,
sure.
definitely.
We're live to a new link.
I just tweeted out the new link as well, so
Yeah.
hopefully that's working. But yeah, so let's sell our shit. Let's just sell some shit.
Yeah,
We've
sell
got some
stuff.
stuff in our store.
Yeah.
I actually have a couple new shirt designs that are
Hey.
sort of going on a discount right now. If you buy both of them at the same time on checkout, then you save $5.
These two.
Yep. It's the Evolution shirt, which is kind of like one of those, going from ape to human, but then he kind of crouches down again and he's all of a sudden gaming on a ridiculous PC setup. So there's the Evolution shirt, and there's also the Crystal RGB shirt for the diehard sketch fans who really enjoyed that sketch. Sort of an inside joke sort of thing. If you haven't seen that video, you probably won't get it, but if you buy each of those shirts, one of each, then you will get $5 credited back to you. That discount ends, that offer ends at the end of this coming weekend. So March 13th, I believe, is when that discount will no longer be around. So take advantage, people. Take advantage. And also, of course, the usual assortment of mugs and glasses are on the site as well. Also, I should also mention that I just restocked every single design. So a lot of you guys have been complaining like, oh, this one's out, this one's out, this one's out. They should all, this is unprecedented. They're all in stock today. That probably won't last long either, so just go ahead and purchase accordingly. Paul also has a store, which is paulshardware.net. He's got a wide range of options, everything from women's apparel to beanies to hoodies. He's got polo shirts, also mugs and glasses, which are very high quality, as we're demonstrating right now, and the works.
If you have recently invested in a Ryzen setup, you should totally get a Zero Insertion Force shirt
ZIF.
because
The
it's
ZIF
because it's a ZIF socket.
Yep.
Yes, it is. Anyway, awesome.
So there's that, and I suppose we can carry on to the first segment of today's show, which is hot and heavy hardware. That's going to be a segment where we talk about hardware because it's hot and heavy, apparently. And what the hell happened? Oh my god, I hate Internet Explorer with a passion. Look at this. I click on Drive.
Why are you using it then?
Because
Why
I
is it-
can't. Because I don't have access to the show doc now that I'm logged into YouTube with Chrome. I have two separate email accounts. You do the same thing. But yes, I should have Firefox.
I think I've used Explorer for anything other than downloading
I think
Chrome.
Microsoft is just like, no, I'm not going to make anything
really-
with Google work well. because there are,
Yeah.
are enemies.
It's like, screw Google.
Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm clicking on Drive, and it just stays in Gmail. It doesn't do anything. Like, how can I even see my show doc?
That's fine. I'll
Just pull up your show doc.
do your
I'll
half
just
of the show.
I'll just reach around.
Read off of mine.
Okay, so the first talking point that we've got here is the Logitech Gpro 10 keyless mechanical gaming keyboard. And I've seen, I think maybe Dimitri did a video on this recently. I saw one go up on Hardware Canucks.
Look how diminutive it
I
is.
shouldn't say it's Dimitri because other people contribute to that channel. There's Eber, and I think they even have a new guy and stuff. So I'm not exactly sure who did the review on this one.
It also has the bat USB connector right there.
Is that the classic bat?
Well, it's like if you thought
cable?
upgrading to USB Type C was really cool, but then you realize, well, they have micro bat USB plugs like this one.
Be sure to tune in.
What I'd really like.
Be sure to catch one of those. Same bat channel, same bat cord.
Here you can see it about to make
Contact.
Make contact.
Penetration is
fitting right in. Fitting right in there.
It's just on the cusp of.
Ooh, look, a video.
So yeah, here's a fancy video. What's special about this keyboard? I don't really know. It's got some Roumor G switches. So those of you who are diehard Cherry fans probably will be like, meh, turn your nose up to it instantly. But allegedly, these are claimed to be the fastest response switches around with a 1.5 millimeter actuation point. That beautiful cable that Paul was just mentioning is a detachable cable, obviously 6 feet or 1.8 meters. It's micro USB, of course, with a reinforced connector. Those are the bat wings that you were seeing. It's got 26 key rollover. I don't think that's enough, but what can you do? Let's see.
I usually type at least 27 keys at a time.
It says more than the sum of your fingers and toes. But what if you're using all of your phalanges and you still need to use your nose to just, that last key? I guess that would only be 21, so you'd still be good.
Yep.
All right. Then 26 is plenty. Game mode. You've got a game mode. You can disable certain keys when you don't need them, so you don't accidentally exit out with the stupid Windows key and things like that. Programmable via the optional Logitech gaming software.
Is your video unlisted? Is your video setting for YouTube?
Don't say anything. Don't talk to me.
I mean, I'm only repeating what some people in chat are saying. We do have 130 viewers, which is slightly
low.
Slightly lower than we would.
It is unlisted.
It is unlisted. All right.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, chat.
Let me go ahead and fix that.
Let's just blame. We should blame this on just being out of practice. It's been a while since we did the normal live show.
Oh my
there was
God.
all this.
Good lord! It feels like we haven't done the live show in years.
I know.
It feels like it's been
so
3
long.
years. Since
I was
we
looking
did
forward. I was looking forward to getting back to it, and then everything just started.
And you were having issues with XSplit earlier.
I was like, oh sure, XSplit. We have an hour until the show. Let's go ahead and do an update.
Yep.
And then suddenly, just the camera capture stops working, and the program starts freezing up, and I had to completely uninstall it and reinstall it.
Totally
it was chaos. It was the worst thing ever.
Toad's fucked.
Anyway,
okay.
How about some beer, Kyle?
Beer sounds great. Stupid fucking Internet Explorer! Oh my god! Yes. So I got us 2 delicious bottles of beer. They are the exact same kind because, like I was telling you earlier, I would have felt guilty had I been the one to keep it, and I would have felt jealous had you been the one I gave it to. So we both got the same ones today. It is from Coronado Brewing Company, and it is German chocolate cake.
Oh.
It's an imperial stout brewed with coconut and chocolate. It was about $15 a bottle.
Wow! All right.
I treated us today.
Splurged today.
And it's barrel aged, of course, at 9% alcohol by volume.
9%. So.
Yep.
Definitely need sushi.
Yes.
This.
I concur. I do have an opener as well.
Yay!
I'm hoping that this is going to be.
Things are looking up. See, we had some difficulties. We had some rough patches at the beginning of the show.
But there's always beer.
Everything's really turning around right now, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the show. I think it's gonna be
As
great.
you say that, I spill this whole bottle onto the laptop.
Probably.
Sucking it up. Oh, it tastes so good. Oh, I'm so pissed right now. Oh, but it's so good.
Just slurp it up. Don't waste any.
Slurpy slurp.
Okay.
Scissor. Okay. Right. let's move on to the next. Okay, there was $150, $160 US MSRP for this mechanical keyboard.
It says 100. It says 129.
That's pounds, though, I thought. Or. Oh wait, what?
What?
Oh, never mind.
According to the article.
Okay, you're right. But then it says it has a set
US price of the Logitech
Okay.
Gpro 10 keyless is $129.99 with free shipping.
Uh-huh.
In an email to Hexus, Logitech said it had set the UK
RRP.
manufacturer's
Price.
respected price of $129.99
Okay, that's what threw me
British
off.
pounds.
Okay.
Or GBP, as they're called.
Gboop.
Buyers, you also get a 2-year warranty, which you definitely need for your keyboard.
Yep.
All right.
So, yeah, fun.
Let's talk about this. This is more interesting.
This is more interesting. This is the BioStar motherboard. The
It's
one
a mini ITX AM4 board.
Well, yeah, that's the headline, and the one that's pictured is a micro ATX board. You're like, what the hell? I've been baited. No, that's not true.
That's not micro. It's mini.
Oh, you're right.
What are you talking about?
Holy crap! Why does it look so big to me?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right. That is micro.
You have
Mini ITX.
You have very small hands.
Because they were also talking about an X370 board that was micro ATX. Because the mini ITX one, the one that you're seeing now, is actually B350
Oh,
chipset.
okay.
So
Well,
you can still overclock on it and stuff.
Okay, just to be clear, they should not make an X370 mini ITX board because X370, the primary function of it is to give you a 2-way by 8 PCI Express Gen 3 lanes, and why the hell that's a
True.
mini ITX? You only got one expansion slot. So
That's true.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's just it's hard for people to adjust because everything that they've bought in the last 5 years or so has been like Intel.
You have to have an X.
And if
in
you
it.
have,
if there's no X,
if you have like an H170 board, it's looked at as like a huge downgrade, and like you can't overclock.
Obviously, if
You
there's
don't
no
really
if
get
there's
that
no
same
X in the
drawback.
name of your motherboard, then it's a shit motherboard.
Right.
So
X equals anti-shit. So that's pretty cool.
It looks great except for this red and blue QC sticker. Presumably, you would be able to remove those.
At least it's been QC'd.
Also, they're using a white AM4 socket. Which why would they even make these? Most of the sockets with the boards I've used have been black. That stands out. It doesn't look good.
But
I'll be honest.
But most of the time, that's going to be completely covered up.
Probably,
even
but
if you have a water block on there.
If you have a lot of air coolers, you might see part of that sticking out
It
on
just
there.
means your water cooler or your air cooler needs to be bigger.
But as we have stated in some of our videos leading up to Ryzen launch and everything, just excited they're able to do this because people were like, for AM3 for a while, AM3 Plus, everyone was like, are they ever going to do a micro ATX or mini ITX board? And
You actually asked a question to the bigwigs up on the stage at the AMD press event.
I went up there and
I stood with the microphone in front of hundreds of people.
Ground, and I said, listen, assholes. You're gonna make mini ITX AM4 boards. I was like, I don't care.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And like, Paul, we can't do that. I was like, no,
fuck you.
You're going to do it, or you're going to do it now.
And
there were several of the motherboard manufacturers there. They were cowering in fear. They
were.
And they basically, Paul, we can do it. We need to make. It needs like an 8-layer PCB and stuff like that. It's very, very complex. We'll do it.
Tell us more.
So everyone should basically thank me for the existence of mini ITX.
Thank you, Paul.
AM4
I especially liked it how you shit on the stage before you walked back to your seat. That was like cherry on top.
You gotta let them know that you mean business.
That you give a shit.
Exactly. Cool.
So that's fun. Just a couple other specs to rattle off here. I've resorted to using my phone to view the show doc because Internet Explorer is pure cancer. 2 USB 3.1 Type A and Type C ports, 6 USB 3s, 1 M.2, which is 16 gigabits per second. So that's actually half the total bandwidth or the total max speed throughput as the X370 board. However, that's still pretty damn fast. I don't think most users will actually even saturate that or even notice the difference between 16 gigabit and 32 gigabit per second with their M.2 drives. It's also got 4 SATA 6 ports and no pricing or availability as of yet. So we'll have to wait on that stuff. But it is nice to see some mini ITX AM4 boards on the rise. And that was my kicker. That was going to be like that's why people tune into this show.
Yeah, that's what they're here for.
So on that note, cheers.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yay. That's quite good.
Yeah, it's
very tasty.
The coconut is subtle, but it's still there.
It almost has like a caramely note.
All right, so next up,
we've got some new fans and shit
so
from NZXT.
NZXT is launching their ERF fans.
NZXT ERF.
The NZXT ERF.
NZXT as a whole brand just looked like my cat walked on my keyboard. Just their whole company, their whole stack. H440. That's how they that's their marketing team, is they just plop a cat on the keyboard. NZXT, that's our brand name.
NZXT.
With our flagship case, the S340. Yep.
So, what?
Lee probably does the same thing.
Why?
So Air fans. You're familiar with the Air fans?
Yeah, they're RGB.
I used them in a recent build of mine, and December's PC of the month, and they turned out fantastic. They're RGB. They synchronize perfectly with the cam software. You can sync it with your Kraken cooler and the LED strips from the Hue Plus and things like that. Very very nice fans actually. They can do quite a few functions and effects if you're into that sort of thing. These are the new Air F series fans. It just gets infinitely more confusing here.
These don't look like they have RGB LEDs.
They do not. They do not.
Then what's the point? Why even have anything?
This is basically a competitor to the Corsair fans, the ML120 Pros and the ML140 Pros. And look, they're even doing the same thing with their little trimmer, trims.
Swap those out
red,
there.
white, and blue trim that you can put in there. The little inlay.
Patriotic theme.
Very patriotic if you want to use all three. But basically the same sort of idea or approach that Corsair and some other fan companies are taking, which I think is smart, even though it's not the most unique at this point.
Are you a fan?
Those are I am, no, not literally. But there's also, they're called trim kits, the Air trim kits. So you can purchase those in either 120 or 140 millimeter varieties for your existing Air fans. And or you can just leave it as gray. I personally like the gray. It's very subdued. It's color neutral.
The gray does blend in nicely.
I do understand though. People, I think red, blue, and white are probably the most popular colors.
Will they be offering other custom colors for the insert rings? Like, what if I want pink?
Does not say that. But
if I want pink, they're like, I'm sorry, we don't have pink.
Well,
if Linus wanted pink,
they would make it
they'd
pink.
be like, here's pink.
Yeah. Or he would just spray paint it himself.
It's not fair.
Like he did to his entire car. So I guess that's one positive here, is that if you had no interest in any of these colors, at least there's a removable piece that would be fairly easy to mod out to your own liking.
Chances are you could paint one of the removable rings to a custom color of your choice.
Correct.
Yay.
Let's move on to the next topic here, or actually the last bit that we have for hot and heavy hardware, which is about the Nintendo Switch cartridges. The Nintendo Switch launched, and I saw everyone and their moms post a Nintendo Switch video, and I was like, meh. But, props to them if they're having a good time with it.
I heard there's a part on it where
it doesn't work.
The finish isn't quite perfect. And people are mad about that.
Is that the Joy-Con thing?
It's like a place near the headphone jack, and it's like it's not closed all the way.
Ooh. I heard something about a Joy-Con. I have no idea. But this article is specifically talking about the game cartridges, the little Nintendo Switch cartridges, and Kotaku did an article on this. They basically found, and I have no idea who or how they found this out, but the cartridges themselves taste extremely bitter.
Well, that's good.
To the touch, or to the taste.
So
he just put it in his mouth there. Saying, this thing's really bitter, man. What the hell's going on with that? I don't even know why this was brought up in the first place.
You asked them if they were poisoned.
What if they? Yeah, exactly.
He just starts to choke and die.
Yeah. So how do you even go about discovering that? But they started to do some investigation. They asked Nintendo for comment.
Oh, look at that reaction.
He might be reacting a little bit over the top here. I doubt that that's fully genuine. But Nintendo did come back with some interesting statements, and they said that the bitter taste on their cartridges is intentional. And the reason why is so that little kids, or grown men apparently, don't try to put these cartridges in their mouths and risk choking to death. These obviously are very tiny, they're very portable, and they're meant for easy travel and such, so they are considered choking hazards to folks of all ages apparently. And what the agent, the bittering agent that these cartridges have been coated in is known as denatonium benzoate.
Oh, I love that.
Which is non-toxic, so fortunately that guy will not die. However, it is known to be the most bitter chemical compound known. Didn't say known to man. That would have been more epic.
They should put it in like IPAs. IPA drinkers, they love bitterness.
That is true. Instead of, hoppy, they'll say it's switchy.
Switchy.
Right. Extra switch. So this is the same shit that's been used in various repellents that you can get at the local store. Different shampoos, soaps, and even like nail biting prevention treatments.
Oh yeah.
You basically paint your nails with this invisible shit, and when you bite, you're like, nah! Horrible stuff. I've actually experienced that stuff firsthand. Pun intended.
Like you put it on your hand?
It was the worst though, because like I wouldn't even be like biting my nails. My mom would like be like, "Here, I got this shit for you," because you bite your nails. Is like way back in the day, even though I still bite my nails occasionally. And like I would put them on, and like I'd be eating a sandwich, and it would just get all up in the sandwich.
That's
like
gross.
Everything you ate with hands.
Any finger food or anything
every
like
finger
that?
food would just taste like it. It was horrible. I was like, this hasn't cured my nail biting, but it has made me anorexic. On that note, Nintendo Switch, don't put the cartridges in your mouth.
Okay.
They taste bitter for a reason, so that you don't do that. Okay?
I wanted to eat them like cereal.
I know.
All right, what's next? Pimp My
Next, we're
PC?
going to see some cartridge taste challenges.
Is it time for Pimp My PC?
It's really quick. We're going to do some
No,
mail
it's
time.
I don't have
Mail
mail time
time.
on here.
That's okay if you don't have the lower thirds, but you guys send in some stuff for me and Paul.
No, I'll get it.
Into
Give me
my
a second.
PO box. Go, Paul, go. I'll stall.
I thought we had. Okay, maybe I.
So, we got some stuff.
Why don't I have mail time?
Mail time? You don't have mail time?
No, I don't
You've
have
done
mail
mail
time
time at your house.
Yeah, we have.
You've done it here. Nori.
Nori's upset.
Nori's like, why don't we have mail time? I feel like if Nori had a voice, that's what it would sound like. Kind of like an old...
we don't have it. I don't know.
That's okay. You can just use it, put something else in there.
Right now we have the Roumor Mill.
Roumor Mill. Because mill sounds the most like mail.
Yeah, mill and mail
the Roumor
are
Mill.
quite similar. So
it is actually
we'll
the Roumor Mill. That was just a typo.
All right, we need
So a couple things here from our friends from around the globe.
recognize this.
We can open. Oh, that's tiny. Wait, is this from Newegg?
Well, I got it in my Christmas stocking, and then I brought it to Newegg, and for quite a while it was our box opener at Newegg. Yes.
Yeah. That looked familiar. Cool. Some of the stuff might just be for me, Paul. I don't want that to make you feel any less special.
But since you're opening it here
it is
during Awesome Hardware, then I automatically get half of whatever. That's
we can work out all the details at a later time. But I know this one for sure from, I believe this one's from Chris CCM.
Yay.
This is addressed to Awesome Hardware specifically, so we'll open that one right after
That's
this
exciting.
one. So this is from, let's see.
I checked my P.O. box recently. I didn't have anything.
Do you ever get scared when you open your P.O. box? Or like open like a letter? Like, what if someone just really hated you?
A little bit. I mean, sometimes I think maybe someone just decided to try to kill me by sending me some poisonous thing through the mail.
I get that all the time. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
Something in here could be poisonous and kill us. We don't even know. You're risking our lives right now doing this.
But it would go like, top 10 in like the most failed, like streams gone wrong sort of thing.
Yeah. Oh, obviously we would live on in glory and forever. That
forever immortalized.
If you have any goal. Hey.
Whoa, look at this.
Hey.
It's actually branded.
Ooh, we got the Bitwit logo on there.
Bitwit logo on a little mason jar with a clamp on it. It says, for various herbs and spices.
Herbs and spices. Someone got you a stash jar?
It's a stash jar. Why do they think I smoke weed, first of all?
Because you live in California, obviously.
And look, herbs and spices is even in quotes.
All right, so herbs, obviously, weed. Spices...
More weed.
Mescaline. I think they're probably...
Okay.
No, what?
See, that I have.
Something spice.
I don't have any of that.
Maybe... Alright, so spice is like what they use in Dune, like to refer to the spice and the spice trade.
I thought you said Doom.
Oh, Dune. It makes your eyes turn off.
I don't remember that level.
Somehow that ties in.
But, okay, well, you know what? Since you said that, everything that we open here can be shared between us, If you have any herbs and spices that you'd like to put in here, Paul, you're more than welcome to.
You're saying you want me to fill that with weed?
Yes, I do. And by the next time I come here, if it's not filled with weed, I'll be very disappointed. I'll
Give me a sec.
yell
I'll
at
be
you.
right back.
All right, cool.
No, I'm here just kidding, of course.
Of course.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, no, we don't even know anything about paraphernalia or weed or anything. Mm. We drink beer.
Yeah,
That's what we do.
That's all you.
So
really
let's open up this. It didn't even say who it was from, unless I completely.
That is
missed it.
odd. Unless, yeah, it did seem
Small
carefully
packet.
packed.
Bellevue from Canada. Canada Post. So it's from Canada.
So it had to go like across the border and everything.
Was it not
Actually,
on the
if
paper?
they said it from Canada, they could have filled it with weed from Canada. I mean, I'm just saying. If they
Yeah.
wanted to be.
Why not? I mean, isn't it perfectly safe to mail drugs in the mail? It why didn't you-
Presumably, it's like what
So
I can think of no other.
right, like how are they gonna know? But whoever's handwriting this
You
is,
keep investigating.
whoever's handwriting this is, thank you for the very lovely jar. I do appreciate it. And while I may not be putting marijuana inside of it right off the bat, I will find
At least
some
not
sort
at
of
first.
purpose for it.
Have to break it in first.
At least not for the first 24 hours
Make sure it's not.
of acquiring it.
All right. So this is from Vivo Print.
Vivo Print.
Thank you, Vivo Print.
Vivo.
There's
Is that like they make like
bubble
business
wrap.
cards or something?
I don't know.
Oh,
That's
dogs probably
really
won't.
loud.
That's true.
Oh yeah, and the dog won't like it. Okay. This is just a bunch of business cards. Could very well be. Oh no, there's shot glasses.
No, really?
What?
Holy crap!
Hell! Oh my God!
Whoa!
It's
There are a
amazing.
lot of them.
There's.
There's so many shots.
Check that out.
That's pretty cool.
We got Paul's Hardware on this one. They got my full
Nice.
wraparound logo.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, goes from one side to the
Bitwit.
other. That's awesome.
Classic.
And then I assume there's Paul's Hardware and Bitwit.
Very cool.
And there's 12 of them,
Yes.
which means we need to do
12
a
shots?
shot out of each one.
Let's break them in, Paul.
Yeah, clearly.
Bust out the
It's
smearing
awesome.
off.
They're classy too. They got the gold rim.
Gold rim, yep.
Yeah, you know.
Nice rim job.
Perfect.
Always appreciated. Very nice.
Wonderful.
So I think these are from.
We don't know who
Chris?
this came from.
I would assume because Chris was telling me to check my my PO
Okay,
box not
okay.
too long ago, and he said it was something for both of us. So I would assume that this is from him. If it is Chris, thank
maybe
you.
Maybe he just thought you wanted a bunch of shot glasses with my logo on them.
That could have been it too. I would gladly. I mean, I drink out of your glasses at home.
It's true.
Wouldn't be too far from what I'm doing currently. But if it's not Chris who sent that, then I do apologize for giving the credit to someone else. And we thank you instead. And screw you, Chris.
Indeed.
And then this last one is from Minch1, Bay
Good
Lake
old-
Trail.
Good old Minch.
Bay Lake
I love
Trail.
Minch. He's a
Minch1.
good friend of ours.
I am not sure if that's a company or a person. Minch1. It's all lower caps. Oh, look at this.
Hey.
We got
Oh,
we got a toilet paper roll of hundos.
Yeah.
Because we're just so ballin' like
Just
that.
wipe your ass with the cash.
I've never used one of these personally.
I haven't
I've seen
either.
them around, but maybe I'll tear you off a few squares. You know?
Hey.
We can compare results.
Break me off some of that.
Maybe this warrants a benchmark video.
People are saying that there's an envelope in the marijuana box.
Really?
I don't know. That's what they say.
No, they're lying.
They're saying multiple people are saying it in all caps.
You're lying. Oh my God, there is.
It totally is.
I'm so blind.
That they saw and neither of us did.
Wait, stickers.
Stickers.
Oh, cool. Wait, is this from Reicher? Look at all these stickers.
Reicher does send stickers.
Is this a nipple?
That's a boob. It's for
That's a
it's for
boob.
Titbitwit.
Oh,
Bitwit,
Titbitwit. Titbitwit. That's Heather's
Titbit-
Left Boob's
yeah.
Twitter account.
Heather's Left Boob has a Twitter
Oh,
account.
cool.
Was there an origin story for that I'm unaware of, by
There was
the
an
way?
orgy story for that.
It's just the boob.
Yeah, we were just like talking one day, playing H1Z1. And we're like, it'd be funny if her left boob had a Twitter account. And of course, Crafty Hack, in his infinite wisdom, created one and has been doing a really good job, like keeping
Oh,
up
so
with it.
it's not actually Heather.
No.
I thought it was her.
No.
Okay.
She has no idea what her boob is up to.
Well, that makes sense.
For some reason,
'cause
another man
It's hard
does.
to keep track of that.
Another
kind of
man
thing.
on the internet does, though.
Just how-
Just,
All right. Well, now I know more
2017.
about Bitwit.
Yep.
Everyone go follow Heather's Left Boob on Twitter.
Yep. There might be a
and
right.
Your
as
life
well.
will be improved.
But still, no name. No one to thank
So
for this.
there's nothing.
I would assume. I don't know. I just don't know. So, but
I mean,
those
I would
stickers will
assume
get stuck.
Reicher, because he's the one who sent us the most. He has the means.
Thank you, Reicher.
Yeah.
That is you. Reicher does do the sticker game pretty hard.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Thank you for mail time, everyone. I do appreciate it. There are a couple other packages that were received by me in my P.O. box today that I will probably be featuring elsewhere, either on social media, like on my Twitter account or Instagram, or perhaps doing another mail time unboxing sort of thing in the future. But let's move on.
What's next, Kyle?
Next up, we have I think it's Pimp My PC.
Yay.
I've only put 5 people on here because we are running short on time, so we can just tear through them really quickly. It is already 6:30. Holy shite!
Mother of God.
So let's just blaze through these.
Trihedrif. He's got the. Ooh,
Try.
he's already got an 1800X build up and running.
Nice.
With 32 gigs of RAM
and
and
a
a Node
Titan
804.
X Pascal.
It's also a micro ATX build. What motherboard is this?
Looks like a Gigabyte or maybe ASRock. Gigabyte looks like a Gigabyte board, but I could be
I
wrong.
have no idea.
Although if it's B350,
That looks cool though. I wonder. This is maybe a 1080 or a 1070.
It's a Titan X. Titan XP.
Oh, Titan XP.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This thing is fully decked
I
out,
missed
yo.
that. So that's a pretty epic 1800X system.
Yeah, instead of a Node 804.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful. I think the only thing I'd say is clean up some of those cables that are sticking out around your, like if those are fan cables.
I think
or the,
an extension kit, I think would look nice here.
yes.
I would also, I don't know, I mean, maybe it's just me. I would flip and possibly move this, the liquid cooler. No, just so that the tubes are coming from the front. I don't know. I mean,
an aesthetic thing.
Yeah. Honestly, there's an intake fan right at the front here, so I guess maybe you'd run into the same problem you have here at the back,
Yeah.
where the tube's right in front of the fan.
Sure.
But I don't know. Honestly, actually, you could flip it and then have the tubes coming down right here to block your ketchup and mustard cables. There you go.
True.
That's my suggestion.
You could do that.
That's a nice little build, though. It's that looks very powerful.
Yeah. I think it's gonna haul ass for sure.
Yes, indeed.
Hopefully you're doing some editing stuff too and taking advantage of all those cores on the 1800X.
All them cords
next
and
up we've
threads.
got Joe the Pro, which is looks like what case is that? Is that a C70? It's the only case I know that has that interior color.
He's not saying, but yeah, probably C70 because it's a green color. As E278 Tomahawk motherboard, 7600K MSI gaming, 1060 6 gig graphics card, 8 gigs of Corsair Vengeance LPX at 2400, and this is the only picture. I thought it was gonna be bigger when I opened it in another window, and
No
it's
crop.
just very small.
Zoom
and enhance.
Zoom. So the first thing I would say is tidy up the cable management a bit. I would say specifically the PCIe cables coming from your graphics card could be tucked into the grommet that's directly behind the card,
Right here.
as opposed to the power supply grommet.
Going down here.
I think they're traveling just a little too far. Just tuck those away. I don't know. Somehow straighten out that HD audio cable that's just sort of hovering around. I don't know. Straighten it out so that it's not kind of at a weird slant.
Pre-warning for headphone users. The dogs might be barking soon.
Oh, the wife is home, perhaps. And,
Potentially.
I'm going to grab my laptop
All right.
for dear life. The other thing I would say here is... What was the CPU? 7600?
7600 or was it a 6600?
I think it was 7600.
7600. Yes, 7600K.
Okay. I personally, like, just to spice up the look of things, just from a cosmetic standpoint, I would maybe change out the cooler. Obviously, that one is probably going to do a really nice job already. However, just the aluminum heatsink just on the front, that front plate, and the copper pipes coming through just look a little bit dated, I will say.
I want to say this extra 120 millimeter fan that you have here going, pulling from your hard drives, Probably isn't doing. Oh, there goes the dogs. Don't. I warned you. I gave fair warning. There was fair forewarning for everyone there.
You have really good ears. You were able to hear before they did.
Well, it's right there. I mean,
I know, but I'm surprised that they didn't bark earlier.
I'm surprised too. It's really weird. Sometimes they seem to have some sort of extra sense that knows what we're doing and everything, but other times they are completely oblivious.
They're just really dumb.
It's weird. All right, so but yeah, nice little build overall.
Yeah, it's very solid.
Looks good.
I like that case.
Okay.
Moving on.
Axeman 747.
Axeman.
A Corsair 400C, an i5-6600K, a GTX 1060, 16 gigs of Corsair Vengeance memory, an Asus Z170 Pro gaming motherboard, an Intel 600P, an NVMe SSD, the 512 gig one, and an 800 watt AVGA power supply. All right.
Swap out all your fans except the rear. Swap all your fans and make them exactly like the rear.
That would look cool.
That would look cool.
That would balance out the red. It would give more red on the front. It would light the case up more. You have a red and black color scheme that's really easy to deal with. And I think I agree with Kyle there. I think that would really make things look pretty good here.
I agree.
You have again this HD audio situation here going with your HD audio cable.
Yeah.
I highly recommend, if you're not going to plug in your headphones in the front jack,
just unplug
which you shouldn't do anyway, honestly, like the interference and the quality from there is often pretty bad, and often the audio that comes from the front panel cable doesn't even go through the same audio processing that the rear panel does.
You're not taking advantage of the chip or anything.
Yeah, so I would say if you're not using it, just unplug that and get rid of it. Just like, get that shit out of there.
I agree.
Other than that, though, beautiful build, and yeah, and a good suggestion there, Kyle. I think those red fans would really make this look pretty sweet.
Tie it all together.
Yep.
All right, next up we've got
Celtic Fox.
Celtic Fox.
Robert, East Coast Mods.
Woo.
950 9550 FX. What is that?
9550. What do you mean?
I'm familiar with the 9590. I don't know the other
9550.
Other random SKUs, or maybe he meant to. Maybe it's a typo and it is 9590. Is there a
9590? He probably meant. Yeah.
This says
Phenom
X4.
Phenom X4 9590.
That's Phenom X4 though.
9550.
A Phenom X4 would be.
That's completely different than an FX.
Yeah.
FX 9590.
I'm guessing it's a typo because he put FX. I think it's 9590. It's probably just a typo. Okay.
Yeah.
AMD 16 gigs of DDR3 and XFX Radeon 280 HyperX SSD 240 gig. WD Black 1 terabyte drive and an Asus Sabertooth 2.0 board. My
only critique would be to upgrade to Ryzen.
Yeah, I mean, really.
Well, okay. You got a Radeon 280. Wait, really? A Radeon 280 that's water cooled? Interesting. It seems like a very expensive setup for relatively budget hardware.
Okay,
there's a lot going on here.
Yeah, I mean, there's two big old radiators. There's at least 7 fans that are all coordinated. Looks like some coolants, water cooling configuration going on there. So yeah, I mean, like Kyle said, the main thing here is that you're looking at a system that has probably at least a few $100s worth of liquid cooling going into it with the CPU block and the GPU block and the radiators and everything like that. But it's just a system that is somewhat outdated, looking at a 9590.
At this point, your water cooling hardware is more expensive than your actual hardware that's being cooled.
To some degree, yes.
Pun intended. Good one, Paul.
I'll also say, the Sabertooth 990FX 2.0, cool looking board, difficult to color coordinate with because it's very much a military scheme, color scheme. So it's not going to match up quite as well with the red and black that's going on elsewhere. So this system actually reminds me a little bit of I've been looking a little bit at Arctic Panther lately, and Arctic Panther's still it's in the computer room over there. Still a very good system. Still kicks ass.
Yeah.
But it's still it's like I built it in 2015. It's a couple years old now. There's much faster stuff that's available now, and it's just that's one of the things you got to deal with when you're water cooling is that in a few years the water cooling equipment is going to start to look like it's not quite as useful.
Yeah.
But overall, really cool build. I like you got some bits power fittings on there as well. I like the black tubing. Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot we could offer that's just say do this with this build, because really, you should get a Ryzen build going up. Build a successor to this in the same spirit.
Yeah.
With Ryzen, I think.
You got the case to do it. Might as well. All right. Thank you very much, Celtic Fox. And then lastly, we've got Dannied
X.
Dannied X.
Side panels off. We don't have a listing of the equipment in here, but obviously that's a GTX 1080 and a Maximus 8 Hero.
850 Pro.
Which is the Maximus 8 Hero, which would be the Z170 version.
Yeah.
Of that. So cool. H100i V2, it looks like.
For some reason, I have this weird aesthetic thing when the radiator or like the tubing for the AIO is pulled straight across the case. For some reason, it looks too taut to me.
You like there to be a little bit of a
little droopage, a little slack.
It's a little
it
droopage.
Just looks more like elegant and free as opposed to just like like just fucking like clothesline across. You know what I mean? And that's a total personal thing, but at the same time, I would say if you had a choice, like, yeah, it's probably best to have your CPU's radiator at the front of your case intaking air as opposed to exhausting air with that particular sort of GPU, where you're exhausting hot air from your graphics card inside the case. Obviously, if you're going to be gaming a lot, your graphics card is going to be emitting more heat than your CPU is, and that's potentially going to warm up your CPU thermals if you were to have your CPU AIO radiator at the top of your case ingesting the hot air from within your chassis. So I think overall it's a good placement. It just doesn't look the best. So I don't know what kind of solution I would have. Maybe actually move the radiator to the top. This is what I would do. I'd move the radiator to the top, and I would have the fans pulling air or pushing air inside of the case as an intake as opposed to an exhaust, and just kind of reverse the airflow a bit. But that's, again, only because I'm not a huge fan of the tubing that way. What do you think, Paul? Do you think...
I kind of zoned out there after you said a sentence or two, so I agree.
Wow.
I agree.
Wow.
I agree with Kyle.
Glad to know that you're always interested in
I'm usually really on top of things, but it was just, I don't know. I was like, yeah, I see what you mean about the straight, you know. I've had the same thought, you know, about when the tubing is too tight and too straight. I agree there. And then after that, I lost you.
And then you were like, sushi.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I guess I can't blame you in that sense.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you very much, Danny. That's going to conclude it for Pimp My PC. Let's go ahead and move on to our news articles, which are very quick. We're going to haul through these as well, and then we'll be on to the second half of the show on Paul's channel. So first off, GTX 1080 Ti unboxings have gone live. This is a WCCF Tech article.
Hey.
But this is actually a fact and not rumor, despite most of the things on this website. So yeah, GTX 1080 Ti, the unboxings have gone up. Paul already preempted all of these unboxings. Oh shit! Look at that.
Wait,
look at that.
they're
Look
linking.
at that is.
They're linking to your video.
All they did was
and
link
WCCF
a bunch.
Tech. You have arrived, my friend. You
Yeah.
have arrived.
Yeah, WCCF Tech is not a rival.
How much money? How much money did they pay you for this?
Well, you know, them and Nvidia, we worked out a fair number.
Okay,
that worked
well,
for me.
good.
They've also got Crit up there from Logan.
Crit
Logan
TV.
with Crit TV.
Creative.
And I'm not sure who these other
I
people
believe
are.
this is Hardware Unboxed, perhaps?
I think one of them is Hardware Unboxed.
Hardware
Yes.
Unboxed, I was right.
There you go. You can call them with that text, that font.
And what is this one?
This
Nya
is-
Flagship.
Nya Flagship.
Packard up Nvidia's Nya Flagship.
Flagship.
This is
Packard up.
Pro. I don't know who this is.
I probably don't understand.
Nordic hardware.
It's very nice.
Oh, look at that. Look at that slow-mo.
Slow. I like how that's the first shot. Ooh, subscribe. Keep going.
So
Keep going. Almost there. Almost
so-
there.
Wow.
If it was like a
That's sexy. All right.
RX
This is
480 or something.
not safe for work. We're going to need to this video's going to get flagged.
Flag him right now. So yeah, just a bunch of unboxings have gone live. So
and they didn't include mine.
Yeah.
All these,
You had the world's
and
first
they did
unboxing.
not include the original.
How is that possible?
The original world's first unboxing.
And that's why you should never trust WCCF Tech.
Which I was okay to do because the Nvidia PR guys were like right there. Like I went up to them and said, give me that. I'm going to do an unboxing of it.
Yours
like,
was the most official unboxing.
Yeah.
It was on
and then it wasn't until the next day they were like, and by the way, you can't do unboxings until like for the next 4 or 5 days. And I was like, well, I guess
no one said anything to me.
Slipped in there before the rules were established or whatever.
So that's fun. The reviews will be coming soon. I'm sure that all of your favorite tech channels already have those in the works. I know I have. I'm still in the process of finishing mine up. I'm sure Paul's working on it very soon
Been working very hard.
So yeah, GTX 1080 Ti should be exciting. I don't really want to say anything else about it in terms of performance, except for this next article, which is about benchmark leaks.
Oh.
I guess if videocards.com is just reposting some link that was leaked by Chip Hell about the GTX 1080 Ti performance in 3D Mark suite of benchmarks, including Firestrike, Firestrike Extreme, Firestrike Ultra, and Time Spy, then I guess I'm not really at fault in any way for just regurgitating this information.
Video cards.
So, what they found was some pretty decent performance, testing out the GTX 1080 Ti overclocked against a GTX 1080, a mere GTX 1080, which was also overclocked. So both these cards had been manually tuned for the utmost performance. And what they found was averaging out all the scores that they got from the suite of, 3 mark tests, those 3 or 4 tests. They saw around a 30% performance lead with the GTX 1080 Ti overclocked over the 1080 overclocked.
So you're saying Nvidia's full of shit.
So Nvidia is full.
They said 35. They said 35%.
They did. However,
damn it.
They said 35% that the GTX 1080 Ti would perform 35% better than the 1080 out of the box. So I think they were talking about stock frequencies. So we don't really know if it's truly a lie yet, because these are both overclocked in this instance. Nvidia at their press event was talking about stock frequencies, but you would think that if they're overclocking both, it would be more or less similar, one would think, than to the stock comparisons. But we don't really know, and
I don't know.
I mean, I know because I've already done all my benchmarks, but I can't.
Wait, what did they say? It's 35% faster than the 1080, right?
Yes.
Okay, so 1080. The stock frequencies for the 1080 are pretty conservative. So, I mean, who even benchmarks with the stock 1080 anymore?
I certainly don't.
All right.
So
well, that's good to know.
Yeah, that's out there. You guys, let us know in chat what you think of the GTX 1080 Ti so far, and if you're gonna buy one for $700, it hurts. And then we've got 2 more things to talk about. The Ryzen 1800X has broken a few world records. The first one was done by DeBauer. Broke the Ryzen 8 core frequency world record with his personal 1800X, hitting 5.8 gigahertz on LN2, which isn't even really the kicker. The kicker is that he did it at 1.97 volts.
That's bullshit. The voltage right here clearly says 0.787.
You're right.
Sorry, how many volts?
1.97.
1.97.
Which is insane, making him officially the frequency world record holder on hardwarebot.com.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Pretty insane. That was achieved with an Asus Crosshair 6 Hero and 16 gigs of 2400 megahertz DDR4 CAS latency 11. There's also a Swedish overclocker, Elmore, who used LN2, of course, to take his 1800X to 5.36 gigahertz on all cores, and successfully completed a record-breaking run of Cinebench R15's multi-threaded test at 2,454 marks.
Nice.
I think my Ryzen, my 1800X, overclocked to 4 gigahertz or 3.9 gigahertz. Stock voltage was 1,620 something, around there, or thereabouts, 1,600-ish.
I think I had 1 or 2 in the 1700s when I did my overclocking video.
Yeah.
But, they're Cinebench, they tear through it.
Yeah.
With all them threads.
They really do. And so this was only 9 points ahead of the previous world record achieved with an i7-5960X. Ooh, slap in the face to Intel. And that chip, the 5960X, in the previous world record was overclocked to 6 gigahertz. So this really isn't a bad deal for the 1800X, considering that it's operating at a 600 megahertz deficit over the 5960X, and plus it has the disadvantage of just only being a dual channel platform as opposed to having quad on the X99 system. So the last thing that I wanted to briefly touch on here before we close out my half of the show is the Ryzen controversy that's been going on lately. Ryzen just sparked up a bunch of crap, and I don't even have a link for this. It was just kind of like a really quick discussion that I wanted to have. People are claiming that Intel was calling reviewers and other media press outlets and saying, call us before you write your Ryzen review, because we want you to employ our own personal testing methodologies for testing Ryzen, our competitor's chip. More so just to sort of favor the results in Intel and on Intel's side. And I don't know, I think this could have been a really good sword fight question, is what Intel is allegedly doing, what they allegedly did for the Ryzen launch, reaching out to these reviewers and trying to, I don't know, get the results to be more in their favor. Is that playing dirty? Is that considered playing dirty, or does that just come with the territory, and any reputable company who's interested in, you know, preserving their product and their sort of what am I looking for? The reputation. That's just something that they would do. That's just good. That's just business. That's just how it is. I don't know. I thought that was kind of an interesting talking point.
Fortunately, the sword fight questions for this week are way better than that.
No, I've already looked past the other show, Duck, and they suck. They're all really
they're really good. Everyone should watch my half of the show.
Nope, I thought of that. I thought of those
starting momentarily
on the toilet. So so that's just one thing. I personally was never contacted by Intel. I'm sure, and I'm bringing this up too because I'm sure you guys have been reading all the comments and all the controversy there, but you might want to also hear what the reviewers have to say from our side of things. And I personally was never contacted by Intel at all. Like, I feel like I wish I was, in a way.
Really?
Not because like I want them to gain, you know, and benefit from being shady or whatever, but just because it would be like, oh, like I have a really close relationship with Intel. They value my opinion. But if they were going around to different press media outlets, they probably saw my name, or they might have seen my name and just be like, it's just Bitwit. He's not credible. He's stupid. He doesn't know anything. And they just kept going and never contacted me. So I was a little disappointed. I was like, oh, well, where was my shady email that was super shilly? I didn't get one. I'm sure you didn't get one either, right?
No.
You didn't get one either.
That was there was no money at all. No.
Did your Lamborghini just start up?
In all honesty,
in the front yard?
no. I've heard nothing from Intel. I think the rumors to that in that area are grossly exaggerated. I mean, I can understand people coming up with the conspiracy theories that they are and everything, that Intel want to do that, but I think, at least in my experience, Intel is just, you know, they're like, it's a competitor. I mean, they're obviously it's going to affect them to some degree. AMD suddenly having a much more compelling product than they've had in the past 5-6 years. Mm-hmm. But I don't think to any extent that they're going to go out and start doing industrial espionage or try to subvert, you know, the will of the people or of the tech press or anything like that. Like all that stuff is pretty much just kind of tinfoil hat type stuff.
Exactly. So. And if you have some doubt that your favorite reviewers are being paid off by any company to offer skewed results or a biased opinion on any sort of product or brand, then maybe you shouldn't be watching them if you really think that their integrity can be so easily compromised. I know all the people that I personally follow in the tech space, like, I know that they would never accept money for a biased review, and so I never have to worry when they say this CPU sucks or this GPU rocks. Like, I never have to question, like, well, is there some foul play at hand? Like, because I just know that they're quality guys and they have integrity. I don't have to question it. And I feel like unless you have irrefutable proof that someone is a so-called shill or whatever, then I feel like, just keep your thoughts to yourself, because then you start to stir up all this rumor and speculation that isn't really founded in any facts. And that, on the internet, that's explosive. That's one of the shitty things I hate about the internet, is you can plant a shitty seed, and it all of a sudden just evolves and blossoms into this toxic environment for really no reason at all. And it's completely unnecessary. I mean, making death threats to certain, tech reviewers because they had a slightly negative stance on Ryzen or AMD or whatever it was, it's just like... I don't know. I feel like I didn't get many of those comments. I mean... I felt like, I said a few negatives about the 1800X when I reviewed it. I didn't think it was the CPU that it was all cracked up to be by all the hype, and even AMD themselves. I think they skewed some of the results in their press event and stuff, but I didn't really see too much hate in the comments. But some people did, and I just feel like, it sucks when, as a reviewer, you're going the extra mile to source more data, and you mine more data, and you do some really in-depth testing to draw more bold conclusions about a product, because the deeper you dig, the more profound those conclusions can be.
The deeper you dig.
The deeper you dig, and then the fact that they're being crucified for their findings when they're really just trying to share all of this like information that they found is very discouraging to the community, and it prevents maybe some really good reviewers out there from maybe speaking their mind wholeheartedly the next time a big launch like this comes around. So I would just say be aware and be conscious about what you're putting out there on the internet, what you're tweeting out and things like that, because there's already enough shenanigans and BS to go around. We don't really need any more of it. But that's the only ranting I wanted to do. And on that note, let's go ahead and do some quick Johnson shout-outs.
Yay.
Johnsons, you can go first, Paul, because I'm still trying to get my Gmail ups.
I'm doing the same thing.
Do it.
I do have Johnsons.
Johnson it.
Okay.
Johnson.
Susan. Or maybe Brendan.
Oh.
Susan or Brendan.
Oh.
There's a different billing and shipping.
Yeah, Susan. Double Johnson.
Susan and Brendan. Get
Double
a double Johnson.
Evolution shirt. Woo!
The Evolution shirt and the Thumbscrew shirt. Thank you so much.
Yay.
Low stock level.
Jeffrey Garcia. Oh, Jeffrey G.
Jeffrey G.
It doesn't matter.
It's
I'm
like,
not saying
it's
their
like,
addresses or anything.
You already said it.
CPU cooler shirt. Thank you very much, sir.
A Johnson to Michael G. From Virginia, who got a 0 insertion force shirt.
Woo!
Awesome.
Damon. I'm just going to say the last names too. Damon Kurtz. Evolution and a BIOS Flasher shirt. Thank you very much, sir.
Shane E. From Colorado got a Thumbscrew shirt. Thank you again.
Adam Kerstetter.
Wonderful.
Adam's all caps. Adam Kerstetter. For picking up an Evolution shirt as well. Thank you, sir.
Ryan T. from Michigan.
Ryan T. Double Johnson.
Double Johnson.
Evolution.
Is that Michigan? Is that my Michigan?
Yeah, I think so.
It's not Minnesota.
Oh,
no.
Fuck Minnesota.
Okay, yeah. Okay. And Jimmy P. Jimmy P. from Connecticut. Thank you so much for grabbing that Thumbscrew shirt.
Got one from Adam from Tampa. Adam from Tampa, thank you for picking up a Crystal RGB and an Evolution shirt, sir. And we've also got one from Lucas. I like that name. Lucas, for picking up an Evolution shirt, CPU cooler, and an overclocking mug.
Got the whole set.
Woo! Hope you overclock yourself in the morning with that mug. Crystal RGB and Evolution shirt from Shane. Thank you, Shane. And we got two more. One from Russell, Stay Positive shirt. Thank you, sir. And then one last one from Jordan for picking up an overclocking mug. So thank you guys so much for all of your support and for tuning in to this half of the show. Stay tuned, though. We have Paul's half coming right up in just a minute or two. If you're on Twitch, just stay where you are. We will be right back.
See, the show should have ended right then.
You should have been on it.
But I was not ready.
Where were you on that?
I'm not.
Oh,